So if your cash ain't right, if your cash ain't right, put some cash in your life, put some cash in your life. Cause what's the credit score when you got your cash right? Put some cash in your life, put some cash in your life. If your cash ain't right, if your cash ain't right, put some cash in your life.
Put some cash in your life.
Oh man, you already know, man.
That's what's up.
YouTube Zodiacs, what's good? It's your boy KashDaGemini back with another video, back with episode 13. We already 14 weeks in. Got a special guest in the building, man. You guys may know him from a couple reviews, couple other streams he'll be on. HStats Collectibles. What is going on? It is Thursday, already the new year. How's it going for you?
Oh man, it's shaking already. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. I know we were supposed to, get on a couple months back. Time restraints didn't make it happen back then, but we made it happen now. So right on time, man.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah,
what's up,
man.
people?
Archangel says, just like in the bedroom, I'm always first. All right, man. All right, man. What's good, Edwin? Appreciate you being here, man. Dennis Perez, what's good? Terry, Luke, what's good, man? Late night trip. Appreciate everybody being here so far. And just to get it started pretty quick, man. How's your holiday go? Whatever you celebrate or don't. How's the holiday, the new year treat you?
It was straight. It was straight. It's crazy, what this pandemic is doing because the family and I, we went out, to Rockefeller. It was dead. I don't know if you're familiar with that area. It's with a big Christmas tree here in New York.
Yeah, on TV I'm familiar, but not in person.
Yeah, it was dead over there. So I was just like, man, it was like basically it was a crowd, but not usually crowded. Usually you can't even walk through there this time of year, that. But it was cool.
Man, it was like that last year too.
Last year I didn't go out there because I think that's when the pandemic was like really, really hitting everybody hard. Lockdown was real, but things started opening back up. So, my daughter, I promised her, my son seen it, but my daughter never seen it. So we went out there, we checked. We had a nice time. I haven't been that close to the tree in a long time because it's usually super packed. You can't even walk through that place.
Yeah, definitely, man. What's good, Britton? Appreciate you being here. So as a collector, like when it comes to holiday times, are you one of those type of collectors that's like, you know what, it's my birthday, it's Christmas, I'm gonna go ahead and splurge a little bit on myself during those times, maybe some sales going on, or how do you approach the holidays?
Nah, I mean every day is my birthday when it comes to statue collecting. No, every day is Christmas for me. I don't wait for my birthday. Usually I got like something in way before my birthday.
Yep.
I put in my POs with my wife. Like I'd be like, look, can you buy this for my pre-birthday? You know what I mean? So no.
Yeah, that's crazy. I actually didn't get anything. I'm trying to think because I know Sideshow had the Black Friday 10% off, entire site as long as it was in stock.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get anything there. But you know what I recently did get? During Christmas, they had 10% off with free shipping for the Sideshow logo. Okay. And I was like, hey, why not, man? So I picked up the logo. I'm like, I got enough Sideshow statues. So I picked up the logo. It's something I had seen from like when I very first started collecting. So I'm like, I'll just pick it up and, kind of display it with some of the Sideshow pieces. It was only like $32 after taxes or $42 one of the two. So, not too of a big deal. But what actually got you into collecting? Was it anything from the childhood or this is adulthood?
Well, I mean, I think we all started collecting at a certain age. Probably like not even like now because like in college, I started with like action figures, and I mean like the Marvel Legends, and then little small pieces before I even found out about collecting. So, you start off like comics, you start off with certain action figures, and then my biggest thing that I wanted to do with my channel was like Transformers because I collect those as well.
Yeah.
So that's like where it really started until you get introduced, to the hobby. But it's weird because I used to go to this comic book store called Forbidden Planet, and that's in the village, and I used to see the statues, but I thought they were like displays. I had like no idea you could buy them. you know.
Yeah.
So, and then before that even started, I was following this guy before I started I even knew what YouTube was at the time. I started looking at this guy, Maddox Collector, and I'm just like, man, this is damn like, and I just really thought, at that time, like, this is totally unaffordable until,
Yeah.
my friend was like, you could buy this, right? I was like, you can. And then, at that time you start making some money. And then the first thing starts off as Sideshow. But my first statue was not from Sideshow. It was I bought it at a Comic-Con. I don't know if you know Lionel. And I think the company was Hard Hero.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thundercats, right?
yeah,
Lionel.
Thundercats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first one. And the reason why I bought that one because it seemed like they just took the character from the beginning of the cartoon and
Hmm.
put it on display where he's like holding the sword, and I was just like, man, I got to get this. So I mean, that's how like that whole thing started, and then just one thing leads to the next, and then man, the world
Man,
just
Trinkle Effect.
yeah, the world opens up, and I feel bad for new collectors because the hobby has evolved. I mean, it has evolved. you
Yeah,
know.
definitely, man, definitely. Brendan, appreciate you being here. Pudgy as well. Appreciate everybody coming in. Jesse Hernandez, and now you had mentioned something there, and I'm gonna just ask you this just to see what do you think about it. What do you think about this Transformers? Because I heard you mention the word Transformers. So is this
hmm
anything you're into?
No, no. Yeah, it would. You know what? It's from an artist point of view. I
Yeah.
don't get this concept because it's a different time, a different era. But I wouldn't get this kind of concept. Like I wouldn't buy anything like this.
Is it because it's not traditional or because of the scale?
It's because it's not traditional, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like if you're a Transformer fan and you've been following the series for a long time, it's kind of like when the Beast Wars came out. It was like,
Hmm.
what the hell is this? That's when that change started to happen. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like I'm stuck in that G1 phase, G1 kind of like G2
Yeah.
phase, you know. So
I, 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 could, I could
this
see
is
that.
like a yeah.
I just wonder what the price tag on something like this is actually gonna be. Is it gonna be 200 or are we talking like 800? Because then it's like what the heck, man.
But
So
what is this? Is this a statue or just a figurine?
I believe this was day 11 of Sideshow 12 Days. I'm assuming it's
Oh,
a statue. I mean, I've never heard of
mm,
Unruly Industries myself, so
mm.
who knows. But I just wanted to ask you that, man, because I heard you mention the word transformer, so I'm like, let me just go ahead and ask him. Casual, appreciate you being here, man. So
Mm.
what why do you say you envy, or not envy, but like new collectors? Is it due to like the price changes that's happened over the years? Because
No. What I
it's
mean by
different.
yeah, what I mean by that is it has evolved, and what I mean by that because I've sold some of my collection when I some of my previous collections. Luckily enough, I kept some Bowen statues,
Yeah.
and what I mean by that is like the next generation that's coming into statue collecting. You guys are getting high end stuff. You know, you guys are getting high end detail, like 3D dimensional, like damn. That's
Yeah.
how like when I bought the XM Red Hulk. Hulk is one of my favorite characters. So when I saw that, on YouTube, I think it was the XM Studio Showcase, and
Hmm.
I was like, I got to get that. I gotta get it. I gotta get it because it was kind of like he was just coming out of the comic book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you just say to yourself like, I'm getting that, and some people say, oh, it's not the best one, but it's just so up to date. It's something that I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and it's something that just pops, in your living room. It's like people come
Yeah.
like that thing is dope, you know. As to comparison, um, when I bought the PCS Red Hulk, you do the side by side where it looks like he's slipping a banana peel.
Hmm.
He's like,
It's different.
it's different. It's different. You got to check out my review on that the PCS Red Hulk, and you can see it.
So
It's like it's just yeah.
so what do you think is different? Do you think the digital sculpting is what's kind of taking these new pieces to a different, a different level?
No, because you still I think the XM one is hand sculpted. You know,
Hmm.
Digital is a little different because you see that's where now you start you don't want to cross the line because the way how I learned about sculpting is usually
Hmm.
done by hand. So now if the computer is doing the work, then you call that technique. You don't call that technique. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But you still
Okay.
have to have a mind for the anatomy of what you're doing, which most of us do not have. So, you don't want to cross that line and criticize your favorite sculptor, your favorite artist, because they did have to train for that. But I
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
rather a hand sculpted piece says a lot. You can't beat that. Thumbs down.
Yeah, because I know when the Wolverine had came out, I think it was Jerry and Arch who was asking Franco like, hey, how do you feel about the feedback from the fans, opposed to the portrait being egg shaped, that Wolverine PCS 1/3. And he was saying it didn't bother him. It was just something obviously to improve on and to make better. So I feel like there's certain people out there that do accept that criticism and make it better. Um, if I'm not mistaken, I think Astro was going over the Scream, the 1/3 Scream by also by PCS, and they just released today that they've heard the feedback. They're going to go ahead and basically revamp it. So I think they're going to give you that same one you guys were looking at, but then also like give like a exclusive variant or something like that that's going to be bigger with him stepping in front of a door or something like that. So I like how studios actually do listen to the feedback. Is that something newer, or did studios used to do that in the past as well?
No, that's something that's newer because I think what's happening now, the hobby is growing. People, more and more people are becoming, are getting involved into this hobby. But before it wasn't like that, and um, I had to really choose my words wisely by using constructive criticism when it
Yeah.
came, like especially when I first started reviewing, because some people they're passionate about some people are over passionate about the hobby. So you say one thing, all of a sudden, oh, how could you say that? But in one of my reviews, I remember saying, when you start collecting, because like with me, I like diversity in my collection. I want a different character, you know, to fit the theme that I'm building. I don't
Yeah.
want the
Yeah.
same of everything. So um, my favorite cartoon series is the Transformers. So when PCS brought out the Transformer line, I was
Hmm.
like, oh, this is dope. But
Yeah.
then when I took a step back, all the airplanes, they all had the same pose. So I'm like, well, if you think about it, I'm going to buy three statues. They're different characters, but they all
Hmm.
have the same pose. How boring is that? Not saying that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't love the concept, because I do have the Optimus, which looks like it came directly out of the 80 series cartoon, which is, I think,
Hmm.
is one of the best jobs ever. But what is it? Continue that, bring out a whole nother line. Let's see some other characters. But if you're gonna make, like, the same or the main characters, then some people, it gets boring. That's how I collect.
So like we just came out with a new Thor statue, right? And PC not PCS but Sideshow came out with the Thor.
Hmm.
And obviously Breaker of Brimstone was just out maybe 2 years ago. If I'm not mistaken, the exclusive is completely sold out, not even waitlisted anymore. You can still get the CE. Do you feel like it's too close in terms of like, hey, we just had a Thor, now you guys are doing another one? Obviously XM Legendary Beast is a different complete company and studio, but there's three Thors out there that you can get? Or do you feel like that's actually good for the consumer because now you have options? Or if you're a mega Thor fan, you can just get all three.
I think uh, if you're a mega fan, you're gonna get all three. For the
Yeah, yeah.
consumer, you're gonna have options, because why you hit this right, you hit this
Hmm.
one so accurately. It's like you basically got the bullseye. When it comes to Thor, I don't have any Thors in my collection because there's something about Thor that I'm very, very picky with. You know, like this pose right here, I'm not
Hmm.
feeling at all. So it's totally not for me.
Really?
Yeah, it's not for me. I think it's over exaggerated.
Hmm.
I mean, the head looks so small. I don't know if this is just a picture.
Yeah.
Maybe if you see other angles of it, it might make sense. But if you look at that head and look at the body,
Yeah.
the head looks like so small compared to the rest of the body. you know and then if you look closely, as I look at this picture, he kind of looks a little cross-eyed. But like I said, these are just pictures.
Yeah, just
But
pictures, man.
yeah, but when it comes to Thor, I'm very anal. I still have not found my Thor. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I was just asking because there's a lot of options now, and I definitely think that's a good thing. Now, far as people who actually have this statue, I only know you and Arch with the Namor, and I still hands down, I've watched a lot of reviews, and I would probably say the best review week that I've actually seen was Gem Mint Collectibles Spider-Man week when he went over the whole Spider-Man rogues. He did that for a whole week straight. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
And for you guys out there, definitely subscribe to HStats Collectibles channel. When I tell you that Neymar review was, I mean, it almost like kind of set the bar of a content creator for how you want to give that. Like, I left knowing that the statue was amazing. I left knowing the company. I left knowing the details, the backstory of the character, and not like a little backstory, but like I left literally knowing, like you said, why isn't he on film? Why isn't he getting more love? Like, and what made you start kind of being more descriptive in your reviews? Because like I said, bar none, Jim Mint gave the best like week review, but I think you've given the best individual review.
Yeah. Well, you see, it goes back to like my hobby started with my uncle, and my uncle, I would say, was the gem mint of his days. I mean, the guy comic book collection is just insane.
Yeah.
And that's how I came across my first comic. And this is why, some of us who are, comic book readers, into graphic novels, we when you get into a certain story, you remember it. Now with Namor, you gotta say this is a guy that been around from like the 1930s. He's the first mutant. We don't know that. Now you have like the MCU, and people are intrigued by the spectacle. Everything is Marvel. It's like, wow, this is great, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
But and then I've heard, and respectfully speaking, I've heard some reviewers, why they wouldn't get a statue because it's not the main character, right? But look at a guy like Namor, who has such an influence on the entire Marvel universe. I mean, he's either bad or good. I mean, the guy is crazy, but he's still a good guy. Look at the history of it, and why I bought the statue, because I'm like, this is one that people are sleeping on. Because when I went to I mean, we all know now Spec Fiction. When I went to Spec Fiction, I'm like, how is this statue still available? Because props to Saber. I seen a review before Saber, but then when I started, getting to know.
Oh, he has that?
Yeah. He was one that did a review on it. I was like, and seeing his review after seeing maybe 4 old videos on that, because this statue is like 5 years old. I'm saying to myself, this is such a great statue. How come people don't have this statue? It's because they don't know the character. Because if you know the character, you're gonna get that statue. You're gonna get him.
Yeah.
Because when he appears in the MCU, I hope it's well done. So this is why when usually when I do a review, you think about it's gonna be long. Is they gonna watch this shit? But but you want to give, you want to feed this hobby. You want to tell people like why we're into these characters, why we love it. It's not because it's just a statue. The statue just represents the story behind it. So this is why I do my best.
So is that one of your top statues in your collection? Like
hell yeah. It's him and Beta Ray Bill. Those are the underdogs.
Really, Beta Ray Bill. Okay.
You got to know the history of him. That's another one. That's another one that was only, that's one of the first comics I found in my my uncle's collection, because I remember when I first saw that comic, I was scared by it. I'm like, what is this? But not knowing that was the creator whole intention, But he, even though he's alien, weird looking, and I think at that time the readers didn't expect to see such a ugly character be so noble,
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, people are sleeping.
Man, dude, like I said, that was definitely a cool review. I think that statue is the presence on it alone it says enough, man. It's almost like the statue itself makes you want to go like learn about the character, and then from there you can make your decision like, hey, is this something actually for me? Should I pick this up? Like you said, for it to be that long in age, I'm surprised it's still available. And then I even looked a little bit on in the aftermarket, and I mean, it's a couple there here and there, but even the aftermarket, they're not going for much more than retail, and it's crazy because when you see that statue, it's like, damn, like that's, and if for it to be so old with XM, it looks like something they put out maybe a year or two ago. It's aged well.
Yeah, and that's why, I kept sitting on it. I said, no, I'm pushing the plug today, because if this sells out, I'm going to regret it, because you know what this guy's about, and then the quality on it as well. For an old statue to have that amount of quality, I'm like, damn. In fact, look, it's sitting right up here.
Right man, there. Hold on, let me full screen it. Oh man, Namor, okay.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Damn.
But I was just like, but you know what? It's a good thing, because I think as reviewers, that should, if you're passionate about this hobby, that's what you should be delivering to your audience, so they can know, okay, well, why these reviewers, why they're so crazy about this hobby. Like, what is it about this hobby these guys are spending their hard-earned money on? It's not really the statue, it's the story for me.
Yeah, definitely, Pudgy. I agree, man. That Namor is definitely dope. I know someone was kind of funny with the review. You had to like kind of like, hey, I'm gonna get this out first and come back to y'all. That octopus is huge, man. Huge.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's kind of like when I did my Bane. I was like, look, y'all not gonna see me sweating because this stuff was heavy. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to make the mistake of picking it up on camera. So I had to just, okay, you're just gonna edit this. You'll see it as it is, but I'm not picking this up on camera. But it's the quality is amazing.
Yeah. Casual has a question for you. Is the Namor 1/4?
It's 1/4, but it doesn't feel like 1/4. It feels like a 1/3.
Damn, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So the fact that you have some XM as well as some Sideshow, how do you feel about packaging? Because XM seems like they go above and beyond with that packaging. Do you wish all companies did that?
Yes. And I noticed that's where PCS did improve, because I've got some statues. I mean, one that was highly anticipated back in the days was the Thanos on the throne. Now, look, no disrespect to Sideshow, but when my Thanos came, it was broken in half.
Wow.
Yeah. So
what Thanos did you get?
Thanos on the throne from Sideshow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was broken in half.
Wow.
But luckily, they sent me another one, but I'm not going to reveal what Thanos looked like broken. Those of you who have them and have seen the reviews or complaints when it first came out, you know what he looks like. That's it's crazy. But the packaging is superb. I've never received an XM statue that came jacked up. It's well packaged. I mean, they seem to give you more for your money.
Yeah. Is it me, or does it seem like with XM versus Sideshow, your XM packages just get here a little quicker? Is that just me? I don't know. I'll be like,
well, I mean, lately what I've noticed, because of the pandemic, it has been taking longer for things to come in, because when I got my Bumblebee, that came rather quick. It came quick, but now everything is just slowing down. Shipping prices, through the roof. So it's like, and I'm gonna, and when you doing reviews, you say to yourself like, man, I want to get this out so people can see it.
Yeah.
Then it's already been done. So that's where your creativity comes in, to where you be like, okay, well, let me do my thing. Let me show you what I think about this.
Agreed.
You can't, we're here to inspire each other. That's cool and everything. And, you learn from each other. You pick up techniques from each other. But sometimes, put your spin on it. Don't be afraid to put your spin on it. And I think that's what I do. I just say, well, look, this is why I bought it. This is why I love it.
Definitely, man. That's the number one thing I would say to anybody when it comes to YouTube or any videos that you want viewership on is number one, be authentic. If it's a video or a product that you honestly don't believe in, you can either make a video saying why you don't believe in it. But for the most time, if it's something for me that I honestly don't care for, I don't even make a video on it.
Yeah.
Anything I want to put out, I want it to be like positive, and I want people to like make their own decisions, whether it's something that they want to buy or not buy. And definitely got to be creative. Just be yourself, man, and put the videos out, and just kind of take it from there, and let the people decide. And you know what I mean. So it's cool, man. And I was watching a video of yours, and I went back, and definitely congrats on the channel growth, because I was like, damn, I could have sworn I seen like a 795.
Yeah.
I was like, I see a 1336 or something like that, and I was just like, okay, HStats, I see you, man. I see you.
But see, that's the thing, you got to step out of your comfort zone, because and when I decided to do this channel, it was like from the hobby point, and watching all the great content, seeing all the good stuff, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could do this. So and I was telling Ashel this. I was like, look, I started watching this guy Justin Brown, and then I started watching Think Media. And what is his name? Sean Kennel. And he was saying, like, look, let me show you my first YouTube video. And that shit looked horrible. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you got to step out. You got to step out because you're going to make mistakes. I know some of the complaints that I got when I first started was my mic. Everyone was like, yo, your sound is horrible. But I didn't know, I'm like, okay. I knew my editing skills was on point because that's my undergrad. So I'm like, sound is hard. So like, now I got to go find a mic. What's the best mic out there? So when I put it out there, people can, but you're going to make those mistakes. Some people going ham, but it's like, look, man, whatever. You try doing this then.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and that's the one thing I'm still trying to work on is when I do individual reviews is the mic. I know I definitely had hit up Astro maybe a couple of days ago about some different equipment. So Best Buy is your best friend, or whatever electronic store, and maybe even Amazon to kind of get some new gear. But definitely having fun there. Now, just in case anybody hasn't seen certain movies, I definitely won't go over any spoilers, such as Spider-Man. I myself still haven't even seen it. And this is a funny thing. I'll say this, right? I just finished Endgame a couple weeks back. And then I went straight to Spider-Man, the Far From Home, that one. And then I did WandaVision. Dear gosh, I'm so glad I got through that. Like, anyways, I'm on Falcon and Winter Soldier now. That's cool. I definitely don't like the fake Captain America. I'm not feeling that at all, man. I'm not feeling that at all. But any shows or movies that you're looking forward to that's coming out in the future, maybe Morbius, because that's the one I'm looking forward to is Morbius.
Morbius to me is just, it's another spectacle. It's another, we're going to take I'll say probably an underdog character and blow him up, so it's like, nah, not really, but I will go and see it, just check it out. Definitely, of course, the Batman. Everybody's waiting for that.
The Batman.
Is this one? Is this the DCU, or is it from another?
The Batman.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about it that I don't know, because they're bringing all of them back. So I'm kind of questioning: is this a standalone? Because aren't they also supposed to do like the Flashpoint thing where like Flash is coming back with all of them?
But I heard
I'm
something
kind of confused on it.
Yeah, I'm a little confused because I heard something happen with Snyder, right? They pulled them away, and I'm like, but DC is they're weird because they keep their content sacred. It's a deep story with them. So no, we're not gonna spoil. Yeah, but it's they keep their stuff sacred, and I can't understand how they expect to grow a loyal audience, because you get those letdowns. It's like DC puts out a movie and you're like hype, then it's like,
dude, did you see the end of the Snyder Cut?
I saw it, but it's like, I don't remember. It was so long,
Yeah. I mean, number one, I was like, holy.
We didn't need 4 hours. We didn't need that,
Man, but if you watch any movie that he does, all of his movies outside of like the DC, even those are like the zombie one he did with Batista.
I hated that.
That movie was long as hell. So I think that's just him as a director. There is no such thing as deleted scenes. All of them are going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I mean, at the end of it, he puts Martian Manhunter
yeah.
in all of the Justice League, and I was like, "Come on, DC!
Yeah,
This is what I want to see."
yeah,
And obviously, they broke ties, and I'm like, "Oh, here we go, man.
yeah.
Here we go."
They're a little strange, but and I
Hmm.
don't know. Maybe they don't want it to become a box office. I don't know. It's just
It's
weird.
good, Jerry. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Um, so out of all the Spider-Man movies that have been out, like I said, in case anyone hasn't seen it, I won't mention any spoilers in terms of the newest one. But what's your favorite one? Like, because for me, going back, I'm still thinking Spider-Man 2, because it had Doc Ock, which is probably my first or second Spider-Man villain. I'm pretty much a Green Goblin Doc Ock fan when it comes to the rogues. But what's your favorite one?
Definitely the first Tobey Maguire, Amazing Spider-Man,
The first one,
the first one.
really?
I saw it in
Damn.
theater, and it was such a you see the period that we're coming from. The '80s kids are coming from seeing some really corny shit, but loving it. You know,
Yeah.
so this was when we saw that Spider-Man on the big screen. It was like, yeah, this is dope. That's exactly what we want. That
Hmm.
was my favorite one. And it's just in my opinion, you know, let me see, the one with who's the other actor,
Garfield.
Garfield.
Yeah.
I liked it too. It could have
I
been
did.
better.
I did.
Yeah, I can't say it was horrible. It wasn't. I don't know why the fans didn't like the second one. It was just a little bit too dramatic. But Gwen does die in the comic, and
Yeah.
it was over dramatized. So I guess people didn't want to see that side. I don't know. I can't speak for everyone, but it was okay. It was just really dramatic, and I think that's what kind of like people didn't like the film. You know,
Hmm.
and then the Rhino concept was kind of like you know.
Yeah,
Mm,
that was a little
mm,
different, man. Garfield epitomizes Spider-Man in the suit, perfect comic version. See, I definitely liked it, Andrew Garfield. I didn't see anything wrong with it. One
mm.
thing I was kind of confused on is, they went from Mary Jane to then they went to Gwen, and now now at the new one with Tom, her name isn't Mary or Gwen either. So it's like every time they change Spider-Mans, are they gonna change who he likes? Is that comic accurate or?
Some of it is, but then some of it goes back to like the copyrights, like what they're entitled to
Yeah,
use. You know, it's kind of weird, and this is totally off radar.
yeah,
Sometimes companies does this. I know. Was it Pixar? I
Pixar.
think yeah, they were once with Disney, and I think that CEO has some beef because if you ever watch Shrek, they never say Pinocchio's name, but they totally playing those characters. Go back and watch it. They never
Oh,
say those Disney characters' names, but they're totally making a fool out of them. Why? Because two CEOs have some beef, and this guy went and started his
so
own business.
it's
Go,
basically like a freaking Red Sonja when Conan the Barbarian, Arnold Schwarzenegger is in there, but they can't call him Conan,
yeah,
but
yeah.
he's wearing like
But you
the
know who that
Conan
is.
uniform.
Yeah, you know who that is. But it's like, no,
Yeah,
we own this. You can't use that.
yeah,
But that's why that movie was so hilarious because people that understood the content, they're like, these are Disney characters.
yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I know a lot of people are, kind of want certain characters on screen together, and I think in the future we are going to be getting, different characters. Obviously, they just said Deadpool will be kind of entering the MCU, so I'm pretty excited to see that moving forward. I definitely I'm not a fan of like rights and all this type of stuff, kind of getting in the way of of what the fans want. Because if you go back and you look at any old school comic cover, you had random heroes fighting with random heroes that you never see today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like hell,
Mm-hmm.
even if you look at the list of the defenders, a lot of people would just see Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Punisher. But if you actually look at the list of defenders, it's Doctor Strange in there, Namor's in there. Like there's a lot more people in there that
Mm-hmm.
just these four main Netflix characters.
Well, once something becomes, a moneymaker and it ties
Yeah.
itself, then that's what kind of like ruins it.
Hmm.
I mean, it's just um, one of my favorite artists, Basquiat. He was crazy, but his paintings, he used to put a little C on the bottom of all the paintings, and people didn't understand it at the time because the guy was high and stuff, but he was a genius. But everything he was basically telling us in the future is copyrights everywhere. So how can you enjoy a concept if I can't use a simple image? Because this company owns it and that company owns it. And this one I got to go get permission for everything, and then before you know it, you ruin my film. Everything is chopped up. So
yeah, that's definitely crazy, man. So like venturing to pre-orders, are you a pre-order person, or do you like to kind of like put the deposit down, I'll pay the rest when it's ready, or maybe it just depends on what's going on in the personal life?
In the beginning it was like that, like I was the PO person, but this hobby, you start to learn from it. Now this is going to sound like an adult, well, like a parent talking. It's not about being frugal, it's about using prudence. So it's like, look, I had it like, I saw something, PO, saw it, PO, saw it, PO. Oh, I gotta get it, PO, PO, PO.
Yeah.
And the thirst, it grows. But now you're like, damn, I gotta pay for all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
you gotta be careful, man. You can go down that rabbit hole like quicksand.
Yes. So now, it's like, especially with the experience, like looking at I was watching Astral's channel today, and he was saying about the Tux alien, and I really want the alien. I want it so bad.
Oh, Prime 1.
Yeah, but he made a good point, because because of the price, it's not going to sell out right away. So there's no point of me of putting a PO on it. I might as well wait, get some cash to the side, and then get it, because it's not going to sell out. So what's the point of doing a PO? And then with Sideshow, their ES is so high, they got stuff that they had on their site from like 2-3 years ago. So it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere. So you could definitely practice that. But nowadays, if I PO a statue, is because I really wanted, like I could tell you, I got that Atreus and Kratos coming. I really wanted that.
Is that Prime 1 too? Or?
That's Prime 1, and that's my guy. That's one of my favorite video game heroes ever. And you
did play the 5th one, right?
I beat all of them. I beat every last
one.
Yeah. I beat every last God of War game that was invented. But when I do that review, I'll tell you why I'm so crazy about that, because it's just a time phase for me where I couldn't care less about Greek mythology or Norse mythology. Yeah. So, and just how I fell in love with it was just, one of my friends like, yo, you got to play this game. I know you're going to like this game. I'm like, I want to play that shit. And so the first time I picked it up, I'm like, yo, this shit is good.
It's different. It's definitely different.
Yeah, it's good. And then when you get the story about it, why it's so deep, why he has his ashes because he's cursed. He didn't even know he killed his whole family.
Yeah.
So it's a deep story, and I think Santa Monica knocked that out. Now I hope it stays around forever, because
they're making a new one.
Yes, they're gonna end the Norse mythology theme in the next one. But I'm trying to think how they're gonna reinvent him for the next phase after that. So good stuff. I can't wait for that statue to come.
Yeah, that was definitely a good looking statue. I did peep it out, and I was just like, that's pretty legit right there. I like the fact that when you were playing the game, they were showing different statues and monuments. They even showed Thor in there. A lot of people think that comes from Marvel, but it was really like an adaptation from Greek mythology. So I think, you can learn a lot in that game. That's one of the best games that I've played. The graphics, storyline, action, even the voice acting was spot on, man.
Yeah.
I had the sound system on, and somebody else came in the room, and all they heard was he was like, "Boy," and I was like, "Oh man, it's on, man."
But you know who the actor is from the first God of War series, right? No. I don't know if you ever watched Living Single. That's Cole from Living Single.
Oh, Cole.
Yeah.
Living Single.
The dude with the got the name of the actor, but that's Cole from. I couldn't believe. I was like, what? That's the voice of God of War.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I had just seen there's a channel where they had this video. It was Darth Vader versus Batman, And in that channel, one of the guys in there, he had did some like behind the scenes like Spider-Man moves and stuff for the video game.
Mhm.
I'm like, it's crazy. He's just a comic dude, but they had hired him on there to do that. So I thought that was pretty cool. So
What
you
do you
never
think?
know like
Mhm.
who you meet.
What do you think about those concepts? Because I hate those scenarios. I mean, Thor versus, I
I
mean,
mean,
Batman versus Darth Vader.
it's definitely clickbait. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's something that people are gonna tune in and watch. But
Because now we open up topics that people debate about, and I'm like, look, man, you're wasting your time.
well, the last one I saw was Spider-Man versus Darth Maul, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, and that was the last one that I saw.
Mhm.
You know, which was they had Spider-Man all goofy and stuff, and
Yeah.
it was just he was playing like Candy Crush, and then he was like shooting the webs in Darth Maul's eye. It was definitely a little different, man.
Mhm.
But you know, I think it's cool, man. I mean, there's certain concepts I'll be wishing like, hey, could freaking Jason and Michael Myers fight? Like, I think that would be a cool concept. Or
But this is the same universe, though. When you
yeah,
talking about
yeah,
like Hulk versus Superman, you're like, huh?
yeah,
If something
definitely,
happens
man.
to me, I'm like, look, I don't know. Well, you know, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Mhm.
So what's new in the statue world for you? Anything new that's interesting you besides that alien?
There's a lot, and I wanted to do like a most anticipating, and if I do one, it's going to be based on the community. It's not going to be on my preference because I do have some stuff coming in. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot, as you know, there's a lot of good stuff that's getting ready to drop. But
Man.
I'm very picky when it comes to collecting. Because not to fall off topic. Okay, give you an
No, you
idea.
good?
Okay, so now you see like this Venom that I have in the back here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget when I first saw this bad boy. When I saw this
Yeah.
bad boy, it was at Comic Con, and I was like, "Oh my god, I got to get that." But as you grow into the hobby, you
Mm-hmm.
start picking up things because when this one came out, and I never did a review on this one. When
Mm-hmm.
this one came out, the saliva was translucent at the event. When it came, I was so in love with it, I didn't even realize like this doesn't really look like real saliva. It's not really translucent. But at that time, I didn't know. You know,
Right.
at the con, I mean, look, you could see like the saliva coming down the teeth was translucent. So, who's the next company that's coming out with the next uh,
Queen.
Queen?
Yeah,
So now you
Queen.
see, yeah. So now you see the Queen Studios.
Yeah.
You like, damn,
Yep. Yep.
ain't nobody buying this for what I pay for. It's done. So now it's
I
like,
mean,
you know,
if we comparing the two and the fact that the price isn't too off,
mhm.
I would go with Queen if I didn't have one. However, if I already have one, I don't think it's enough for me to upgrade.
Well, you seen the
Unless,
Queen, that Queen studio. I mean, this one is like kind of more comic book accurate.
mm,
The Queen gives
yeah,
you,
the eyes is off in the other one, I think.
yeah, it's a little off, but I like what they did with it. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking, yo, should I just sell this and get that one? But it's like nobody's gonna pay what I pay for this. Then it's like nobody's gonna pay for it. So you might as
You
well
know
just
what's
keep it.
crazy? Like with the Carnage, why was the Carnage more? The Carnage had a higher ES or maybe lower. I can't remember, but the price was definitely more on the Carnage, which I didn't understand why. Because the
I think
Venom was the one that stole the show.
well sometimes because like that Carnage is unique. I'm not used to seeing Carnage with his tongue out. I don't even know
Hmm.
why they did. I would have been good with him not having his tongue out, but it's more like unique. I think he's gonna be more sorted because of the movie.
Yeah,
People are like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get this Carnage because if you love Venom, you probably have a Venom statue or something in your collection. You know,
yeah,
so this is
definitely.
this is why like I missed out on a few Venom statues because I still haven't found my Venom statue. I just haven't found the right one
Really?
yet. No, I haven't. Even the
So
new
the
ones,
new sideshow.
I hate it.
Talk
Like
to me, man. Talk to me. Why you don't like that one? Talk to me on that.
this is a video game version. It's not a comic book version. You know, the pose I don't really like. It looks over exaggerated. He's super big. but it's like the bulk is Venom, but they could have gave us a little bit more definition. It's kind of like it just gave you a block and say, "Here you go, this is Venom." You know, no.
Now, are we talking Sideshow Venom or are we talking PCS Venom?
From our Sideshow Venom. And
The
PCS
one that's coming
too.
soon.
Yeah, and PCS too. I don't like that one either.
Oh man.
That's why I didn't say anything. I kept quiet. I was like, I'm gonna stay out of this because I know.
No. You definitely good, man.
Yeah,
Talk to
I'm
me
not
on it,
feeling.
man.
Nah.
Talk to me on it. Look
So,
at the base,
okay,
man.
look at the base. Now look at the foot, right? Look where the symbiote is, right?
Yeah.
Now look at his toenails. Those are symbiote toenails. You see how it looked like it's all just one color,
Right.
And now if you go up, the symbiote. I mean, I like the fact they have the Spidey mask in his hand.
I love that touch.
I like that, but it's just this symbiote on his tricep kind of looks like an anatomy of a muscle, which doesn't give me a symbiote feel. So it's like,
Okay.
it looks like a muscle.
I can see that.
Yeah, so it's like it's cool. It's not horrible. If you love it, go ahead, do what you got to do. But it's not my Venom, not yet.
Okay. And the best thing about it being Venom is there will be another Venom eventually.
Right. They're gonna make another one.
Yeah.
Because I heard it was rumored. I think XM is supposed to do a Venom, and I think a black symbiote Spider-Man. So I'm curious to see what that's gonna look like.
Black suit Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that I'm gonna go buy it, but I heard it was rumored.
Now, how do you feel about the symbiote Spider-Man from Sideshow? Is that your taste as well, or no?
I love it, and it all has to do with the pose. That's just a menacing, like that tells me when he first was corrupted from the symbiote. See, I see the story in my head, so that's why I'm like, yeah, they knocked it out. What's his name? I cannot pronounce this sculptor's name. Guillermo. I can't pronounce it, but I think he did a fantastic job. The ES is high, of course, but I think he did a fantastic job. And I've heard people complain about the shade on the
all the blue and all that.
Yeah, on his head, but hey, it could be. That's where you could say it could be from the light. If he's standing on this tower, then it's probably like a light shining on his head.
Yeah, Yeah.
So. But this is I was hyped about this the first day I saw it.
Do you have this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm. I was looking at it for a while, and I'm definitely gonna go ahead and pick it up. I had looked at it for a while, and I said, hey man, once I get enough points, if it's still available, I'm just gonna snag it on points.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just that the ES is high, but you got to really love the character. Sometimes, sometimes because like when I did the Sideshow red and blue suit Spider-Man review, I criticized it because they did a black suit in the same exact pose. So here we go again. I'm like, why do I want the same statue color different? So I was like, I'm just gonna wait. And I think, damn, that must have been a 4-year wait before they dropped this.
Hey, but remember what you said about waiting?
Yeah,
you almost picked up that Iron Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and you waited.
Yeah,
and you waited, man.
So now when that comes, you got look, I got the black symbiote, different pose. I got the Sideshow red and blue, different pose.
Yep.
Then I got the Iron Spidey. Different pose.
So
you can't look around and be like, this is boring. Like, no, okay, I get what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, that XM Iron Spider-Man is amazing. And I think that's another piece people is gonna sleep on.
They slept on it.
And I didn't sleep on it.
Yeah.
I got it.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I said, damn HStats, damn.
But you okay, you know what? I was saving this. That's why we influence each other, right? Okay. what's the talk right now? You got the Batman Who Laughs, right?
Yeah, I didn't pick it up myself, but a lot of people did.
A lot of people did.
A lot of people did, yeah.
So I'm saying to myself, what is it about this character? People just love him. What is it? What is it? Now with me, I gotta get the story. I gotta know why I will even want to purchase something like this, right?
Right.
So I kept this because I know I was coming on your show tonight. See what you guys did to me?
Oh no, y'all done corrupted them. Look at this.
You see what you did? Like I said,
Joe, if you in the chat, Joe.
I said I'm going to read up about this character before I even think about purchasing that statue. So that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
You know what? That's actually a smart, because me picking up a $5-10 book or something, that's a lot cheaper than the comic. So if you end up not liking it, hey, I'm out $10.
And I'm not saying it always has to come from the store. You can have like a statue that you just love because you just love it. But just for me personally, that's what I like to just boom, Yeah.
Hey, Vane says that's what he did too.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to know what this is all about, because I'm looking at you. I'm like, why are they so hype about this? Because you know what it looks like to me. No disrespect to the community. No disrespect. It reminds me of the Hellraiser character. So I'm like, remember Hellraiser the movie? That's what it reminds me of. So I'm like, why is this? That thing looks so weird,
Yeah.
So people, I'm seeing the reviews. People say, I love it. It's so great. So I'm like, all right, let me go find out what this is about, And then if you have this novel right here, I mean, look, this is the statue right here.
Yeah.
That's the statue. Isn't that cool? That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Terry says, I love him because he looks like a Cenobite Hellraiser, and DC are my faves. Yeah, definitely looks, I mean, it's unique. And then the one from Sideshow, I like their base. I think they did a really cool job.
Oh, man, that's a killer. Yeah.
Freak is on the base, Nightwing, and I can't remember who else
is
on the
base.
It's
probably, I think it's Nightwing. I think it's Batgirl. Did she get killed? Well, don't tell me. It's Batgirl. I think it's Nightwing, and there's another character that I can't make out from the base. And then you got the blood stains.
Yeah.
But everyone is saying this is a well done piece by Sideshow.
It's nice. It's nice.
Everyone is saying that.
Yeah. It's nice. I haven't heard anybody complain who has it in hand. You know what's crazy? It's almost like the symbiote Spiderman. Yeah, both these statues ESs are high, but nobody has complained who has it in hand.
Yeah, because
so I don't think these are pieces they're actually gonna sell unless personal reasons they gotta let it go. But I don't think they're letting it go because they just don't like the statue.
It's with Sideshow, I know sometimes it's been getting hits. Even I've criticized because the thing about it is I say that we're spending money on a hobby that we really are crazy and we love it.
Yeah.
And then when you're waiting for a long period of time, and you get that statue and you open it up and you're like, what the hell is this? I think we have a right to be like, look, this is a crappy statue. But sometimes in the community, people say, oh, what do you mean it's crappy? Look, I think it's a crappy statue. Okay. And I'm sending this shit back. I'm just saying. That happened to me with my dark side. You know how, man, when I saw that dark side, I was so happy. I was like, yeah, I can't wait for this to come. I'm gonna have a dark side. Yeah, man, I sent that shit back. I sent it back.
Why? What happened?
It's like I feel like they didn't give me enough definition. And what I mean by that is, I look at my review on that. I've heard mixed reviews. The paint was just off. There wasn't no detail. Then you got this headpiece where the teeth are all gray. Some people are saying that's from the comic. Like, no, like it's just one matted color. And I thought by that hand with the light, because he's looking at his hand, and it's supposed to be the reflection of that red beam, looking reflected on his hand, but it just didn't make sense. So what I did, I tried to change the light setting on the statue to say, okay, well, let me take a step back and get from another perspective, from another angle. And it just, the spidey senses weren't picking up anything. I'm like, this got to go back.
Yeah.
So
what's good, Mario? I appreciate you being here, man. I mean, I hear a lot of people in the chat right now. They're talking about ESs, high ESs, with the Batman Who Laughs, symbiote Spider-Man. For me, the ES doesn't necessarily bother me Um, now that I'm a year into collecting, I can truthfully say the ES right now doesn't bother me. It kind of gives me that sense of not having to worry about FOMO. You know, I'm not worrying about missing out on certain things. Like, but I do feel like I don't want to wait too late on the symbiote Spider-Man because I do feel like once it is sold out, yeah, in the aftermarket, you may pay an extra 100. You won't be paying too much extra, but I don't want to miss out on something that I know is a good statue. ES is sometimes help here and there, but I'm to that level right now where if I buy something, I really want to make sure it's staying in the collection, unless I'm selling it because there's an upgraded exact character that just blows this one out the water.
Right, and it's
Yeah.
not, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that because I sold the sideshow Bane to get the Prime One Bane. There's nothing wrong with that, you know.
Damn.
But you see when I
Whoa,
decide
Prime
to,
One Bane versus Batman?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
When I
Okay.
saw that, I went crazy because it's
Okay.
like, man, now you're pulling out a scene from a great comic, and that Bane just looked insane. You know,
So is it too big to display like properly?
it's very big to display, and there's a corner. You know, I know everybody want to see my room tour. There's a corner that I have it in right now, and it's coming. But you see, with me, I'm really aiming for like a museum look. That's
Hmm.
that's the goal, you know. And you how long you been on the tube? Because I've been on the tube I think a year and maybe 4 or 5 months now. You know, so
Yeah, about 5 months for myself.
oh wow, yeah. So you're early.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like the audience is starting to ask for things, and I'm like, look, I'm not ready for that. You know, I'm gonna give, yeah, I'm gonna give you a, trust me, you stick with me, I'm gonna give you a wow factor, but I'm not ready to
Yeah,
give
yeah.
you guys what you want to see because you're gonna be like, why you got that shit in the corner over there, you know,
Yep.
and
Yep.
that's not what I want to hear. I want to give you
Yeah.
that wow factor, you know. But when I saw that, I went crazy because I was like, this is definitely, you know, my Bane, and not that there was anything wrong with the sideshow, but that Bane, I'm like, I gotta get it. You know, the death, the anger, the rage in his face, like, oh my goodness, this is Bane. You know,
Yeah.
the sideshow one was kind of like he was too subtle. He's crushing the bat signal, but you don't see that steroid juice in his vein. I mean, it's there, but you don't see, man. So I said I gotta get this. And shout out to the dude that bought it for me because he knew my price was fair and reasonable. I don't do crazy stuff in the reseller market, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but shout out to him. He was happy with it, and I'm glad he was happy, and I'm glad he thought my price was fair and reasonable because I don't mark up my shit 50,
Yeah.
60%. I don't do that. You know,
Yeah.
that's not cool. I know you look, I'm not gonna talk too much on it because remember I told you we need to have that
Yeah.
conversation, you know, but look, man,
Nah, nah,
gift.
you definitely cool, man. And that actually takes me to the next segment here, man.
Mhm.
So we do a segment. It's called Now You Know, and we model it off of Family Guy's Grind My Gears. So is maybe even a different one there for you. But is there anything that does grind your gears? Is there anything that now the community does need to know with you? Anything in the YouTube comments, the Facebook group, just anything that you maybe wish would be changed, or that's like, man, that kind of irks me, man. Because for me, right
Mhm.
now, the number one thing that's kind of it's just grinding my gears is two things, man. Part A, if I am selling something, I'm exactly like you. I'm selling it just to move it. I'm not looking to, so you can't feed your family.
Mhm.
Can people please just pay shipping? That's all I'm asking. Like, I don't want to charge you a high arm and a leg for shipping. It's not me. It's the world crisis right now. Hell, if shipping could be $20, trust me, I'd say $20. And number two, man, oh man, people, please be patient when you buying something. There is no rush to buy anything, certain things, day one. They gonna be there. Think about it. Don't buy for the hype. Just calm down.
Mhm.
Calm down.
Mhm. Man, okay, so it's funny you brought that up because you know, most of us follow Jem's channel, and he
Yeah.
he he said it in one of his videos. Um, what is it about? the statue community that some of us like to get over. And it's crazy because, selling a statue is not an easy thing because the guy that I sold my Bane to, I said, look, I have a YouTube channel. I am not trying to ruin my reputation. I'm not trying to rip you off. Let me know, what do you think is a fair and reasonable price for this statue? What do you think?
Yeah.
And he gave me his price. I'm like, okay, that's fair. But you're going to have to pay for the shipping, because I can't pay for the shipping. This is what you want. You're going to have to pay for it. But he was a good buyer. He worked with me. He wanted to see the pictures. He wanted to see videos. I gave him all of that because, you're paying for something. You should get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And he mentioned to me, okay, well, you'll make money if I give you that. I said, look, I'll take 10%, because it's completely sold out. I'll take 10% of what I paid for it. You just handle the shipping, Whereas I've seen that shit, somebody try to sell that shit for $3,000, $4,000 on eBay. I'm like, you got to be crazy, to pay for it. Or either you just love it. Now, what irks me sometimes, about the community is the spectacle, like everything is like, are you in it because you really are passionate about this hobby? Because sometimes everything's become a competition, everything becomes competitive. So it's like, and then like you said, it's that we get that wow factor, but we don't take a step to be like, do I really want this statue? Because once it comes, that's when you're like, why did I buy this shit?
Yep.
Why did I buy this? Because you was hyped up by it, But it's nothing wrong with that. But I just think like, capitalism has no soul, but it's like we don't want to make this a spectacle to like where now if I'm want to get rid of, because I know people like this old school Lobo.
The reason, they do.
Why do you think I've had it for so long? Because I remember when it came out, and I don't know if there was a Lobo before this one. I don't think so. But I was like, this is a really good Lobo. This is a really good one. And luckily enough, I picked it up. Now we've seen different Lobos that came out, different companies, but people still want this one because look at the scale. Sometimes you can't fit those huge scales. It just consumes so much space. But at the same time, it's like, look, do we want to make our hobby a spectacle? Do we want to do that? So this is why, like, when I started doing a review, I said, look, I just got to do it from how passionate I feel about these characters, So when you walk away, you be like, oh, I didn't even know that. Okay, that's why that guy is crazy. That's why he bought that $8,000 statue.
Man. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Is anything I'm buying that's coming in to the collection. If it's a book, a art print, a statue, hell, even a shelving, like it's because I really want it. I really need it for the display. Because that was one of the rookie mistakes of, oh man, I like this character, gotta have it. But just because you like a individual character doesn't necessarily mean that you like it enough to spend that amount of money on it. For example, Sideshow may be asking for their interpretation of the character. And that's the reason why now I'm taking a step back and I'm saying, and I did the same thing with Spider-Man before I got the Iron one, because I have the red and blue one. I said, hey, it's the same character. But then I took a step back and I was, reading up on the Iron Spider-Man, and I'm like, it's actually a different character. It's a different company. It's a different pose, a different suit, and everything about it is different enough, like you said earlier, for me to be like, you know what? I can shell out that money because I love Spider-Man as a hero. And I know it's something I keep in the collection, barring they made a newer one, 5 years from now, and I would just sell it to upgrade.
Yeah, it's like Spider-Man 2099. I totally don't like that side. I don't like it. So that's a statue I would never get. Even though I've seen some really good 2099 Spider-Man statues, but it's like I don't care for that concept. Whereas some do.
Yeah, and I will say this in my personal opinion. This is just going off of Arch's comment about I can't stand the competition of the hobby. The whole first on YouTube is lame in my opinion. Just share what you love when you get it. Do you care more about the views than the statue itself? I'll say this for myself. A lot of you guys know Mr. X. He was one of the first 4 channels I watched when I got into the hobby. I took his approach. You will see Mr. X right now. He'll review a statue that's 5 years old, and he always says the same thing. It may be old, but it's new to me. And if it's new to me, that passion, just like you couldn't have told me Neymar. That's perfect. You couldn't have told me that statue was that old because the way you were talking about it, I'm like, is this new? Nobody mentioned this. So it doesn't matter how old the statue is. It's about the passion and how your creativity of how you're relaying that to the viewership. So that's my take on it, Arch. What about you, HStats?
Exactly. Hey, okay, I'm glad you mentioned him because man, I wish I had found this channel back in the day. I don't know how long he's been on YouTube, but I watched his review on what's the last one I just watched, and he mentioned the look. I love XM. I love it because I was really going in on that war tank. I was going in, but Mr. X changed my mind. He changed my mind. Like, he got a point there, because you see, okay, look, I like going for the underdog, and I have a War Machine statue, but I like going for the underdog. I mean, James Rupert Rose is my guy. I mean, that's the War. When I first saw him in the Iron Man movie, I was like, yes. I mean, I thought that scene was so dope, and I like the fact that XM was like, okay, we're gonna take an underdog and just blow this dude up. We're gonna do that. And they gave you that wow factor, and it's going to be a phenomenal statue, right? But then when I looked around my place, I'm like, where am I gonna put that shit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where am I gonna put it? Like, oh shit, I gotta wait. It's not time yet. I gotta wait. Now, some would say, well, look, that might be the most sorted statue, but I'm like, am I buying it so I can flip it for $25,000? And who's gonna buy that statue? You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna buy it for that amount of money? Rich people ain't buying that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like or not for that price. They're gonna try to like, look, okay, well, I'll buy it from you, but I ain't paying you, $6,000 or $8,000. I'll pay like maybe $2,000 because that's what it's worth. You want to get it off your hand. So now you're gonna lose the value of what you paid for. So do I really love the statue? The war tank, I love the concept. I love the concept of the war tank. Now, I can't say I'm going to buy the statue because then how I'm going to review it to my viewers. It has nothing to do with the comic book. So they're going to be like, but I thought you was for the comic. I'm like, oh, shit. You're right. I just bought it because I like it. I think it's cool. But how many people want to spend that amount of money,
Yeah, I will say that. I mean, kind of going back to, am I just buying something to possibly flip it? I think a lot of people that came out that first day, and maybe not a lot, maybe a handful, but I think there's a couple people out there who XM Ghost Rider on horse. I mean, it's one of the statues that's like, you know what? Let me shell out this whatever, I can't remember the price of it. Let me shell out this, we'll just say $1,300 for conversation's sake. Let me shell out this $1,300. And I'll buy it. I'll sit on it for a while. Once it sells out, look at the first one on bike, Johnny Blaze. I mean, that's 25 and up. So maybe Ghost Rider on horse will be the same. And I bought it day one, and there's only 2 statues I've ever got day one. That was the Daniel Bell Carnage because I was like, I want that Carnage. Like I knew there was no doubt in my mind, and I actually sold my old one from Sideshow and used that money towards the new one. So it wasn't. So for me, it was like, here I go. The Ghost Rider on horse, I knew it was a statue. For me, it was an absolute must. With no intention to flip, this is going to be in the display, and so for me, I can't wait. But like, is that something that does kind of bother you about the hobby? Because like, I feel like it takes away from that person who maybe they gotta wait till they till their payday to get that statue. Now they can't get it because the flipper is like, well, hey, I actually bought the last one. I know it was $1,500, but if you got 3,000, here you go.
Well, there's a sucker made every 5 seconds. So
yeah.
I mean, you got to be crazy. Like I said, look, that's why sometimes you got to let certain things go. Sometimes you got to let certain things go. That Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze is one of the best ones. I haven't seen anyone that topped that till this day. So now you got to think, right? What's your price point? what are you willing? You got to go back and find out, well, what was the statue selling for at the time? You know,
Yeah.
then you definitely got to look at the edition size, because now you know it's basically the big fit. Well, how can I put it? It's the yeah, it's the why is the word? It's kind of like the big fish
Mm-hmm.
in like a big pond. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. So it's like we all want it. So now, but what's your price point? What are you willing to pay for it? Because I did sort it. You know, I know you guys know Anton Wu.
Yep.
Um, yeah, he's phenomenal. That guy's awesome. So
Yeah.
I reached out to him, and I think his price that he gave me was fair. But I was like, do I want to spend that though? You know,
Yeah.
do I want to spend it? Because I don't know how they're gonna top that Johnny Blaze unless XM or another company makes another Ghost Rider. I don't know how they're gonna do it. But now, while I went in on the Ghost Rider on the horse, because
So you did go in on it.
yes, but he's
Okay.
coming. Well, most don't see. I don't know how XM is, how they're creating their statue. Is it based off comic? Is it based off concept? Because
Mm-hmm.
I was watching that review. That is the first Ghost Rider, you know. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know how they're doing it. Are they doing it just for or I don't know, because some people say, well, that's not Ghost Rider. Yes, it is. That's the first Ghost Rider.
It is. Yeah.
You know. So now, do I want that Johnny Blaze? Uh, yeah, I do. But damn, you know.
You know, there's certain statues
Mhm,
that Superman Hush is a prime example. Superman Hush, it value goes up. Iron Studios 1/3 Hawkman value goes up. There's just certain statues that they're gonna be twice as much as whatever they were, in some cases three times. And I've always said,
mhm.
when I do come down to my final pieces, like there's no more room. You know you're not moving. To where you're like, you know what, I can't even like buy statues and keep them in the box because we're moving. You know, me and the family we're moving in 2 years. I'll just box them in the garage and unbox them in 2 years.
Mhm.
When I get down to that final five, I don't think I'm gonna worry about price at that point, because
Mhm.
at that point I know the collecting is ending. Barring I'm just purchasing the upgrade character.
Right.
So when I get to that point, if Superman Hush is 2,700, but it came out at 1,000, I'd probably say, hey, I know you have a 27. I'm willing to pay 24 because I know I'm ending my collection. But for
Mhm.
right now, my main rule of 2022 is I'm not buying no aftermarket pieces,
Yeah.
none whatsoever.
I saw. You know, I mean, I don't want to put anybody out there, but I saw a guy. No, I shouldn't say that. This put like this. I saw someone selling that I know
Hmm.
that Superman Hush for $5,000. Now I have the
Wow,
black one, but I'm like, who is gonna pay
wow,
5,000 for this Superman Hush? Because in my mind, I'm like, look, yes, for now, it's the best Superman statue out there. But I know how many Superman statues do we have out there right now? Someone is gonna top that Superman Hush. They're gonna top it. You know, some artist is gonna be some ill concept that we all love, and they're gonna knock. They're gonna be looking at that Superman Hush like, damn, I can't get rid of it. Or if I do sell it, you know, it ain't gonna be for what I thought I
yeah,
could make like a 50 or
yeah.
60% profit off of,
But you
you
know what's
know.
crazy is with your same thought right there. If they come out with a new one tomorrow, and let's just say, well, before I forget, they'll list that Superman Hush as low as they want, so therefore they can move it because that new one is just 10 times better. And
Yeah.
they could use that same concept, but let's just say, opposed to him like hovering in the air, you got his kind of like legs separated, you got his arms kind of like this, and he's ready to like fully blast the laser.
Mm-hmm.
I think even that right there is switching it. It's more of a dynamic museum pose
Mm-hmm.
opposed to just straight museum. I'm kind of hovering in the air. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Well,
there's some ideas out there.
yeah, years ago I saw a custom Superman like that. Until
Hmm.
this day, I still think, man, that's before tubing, that's before everything. I seen a custom Superman like that, and I can say that I haven't seen anything like that before, and it was really
Yeah,
good. This guy was, it was really, really good. I don't know why I when you're new to the hobby, you're cautious. You're not trying to just give away money like that. And I didn't
yeah,
really know too much about custom pieces. my good friend, whenever he decides to put his channel up, shout out to M. Hooten, whenever he put his channel out there, trust me, this guy got some stuff, because I didn't get into custom pieces until through him. That's how I got my custom Logan head for the Daniel Bell Logan.
Yeah.
So trust me, there's gonna be another Superman that's gonna come out, because I was debating that too. I'm like, I got the black version, and somebody said to me, look, if you're selling that black version, let me know. I'll buy it. So I'm like, man, now this is what I did, because I love the story so much, and because I wanted that red and blue Superman so much. I'm like, well, you know what, it's still a good concept. This is the Regeneration Suit.
Yeah.
It's still, it's comic related. You ain't buy it because it looks pretty. You bought it because you got the concept behind it, and it is overall a great scope, and you wanted that, that whole Hush thing. So I got it, and Anton made me a custom cape to go with it. I'm gonna switch things up soon, but it was cool. But if I decide to get rid of that, then somebody got to knock that out. It's kind of like my Libra Mijo Joker. I'm never selling that, never.
Oh, Prime 1.
Yeah, I'm
Libra
never
Mayo
selling
Joker.
that.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. So speaking of Prime 1 and Libra Mayho, you may know where I'm going. And like I said, I've only pre-ordered 2 things day one, but this is one Cash will not be missing out on, is that John Constantine.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to be beat. Now, I do feel like XM is going to do one because they have Zatanna and Swamp Thing. So eventually they're going to have to do a Constantine and possibly a Dead Man. And I think there's 2 more characters in the Justice League Dark. But anyways, so I think they're going to come out with a Constantine as well. But I think that Prime 1 is going to be the top one. Like that was something else at that reveal.
Yeah.
Are you still purchasing it?
Yeah, of course. It's too unique, and I first came across Constantine through Neil Gaiman Sandman. That's how I first was introduced, and I didn't even know when Keanu played him. That was based off. I mean, it was such a long time ago, but he's a good character. That's what I mean. That's another underdog, because he doesn't have the cape and the flashy suit. That people tend to, I mean, it's not that there's anything wrong with the main characters. I mean, we come out of our mother's womb, Spiderman, Superman, that's all we know. But when you start learning about all these other heroes and villains and why it's so important, then that's when I think that's when you become a real fanatic, because you know what you have.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like Punisher. Punisher is a hero. He just goes about it in a different way. It's no different than Constantine. He's not your, hey, where's my cape and I'm coming to help right now. He's gonna help in his own, dark magical way, but he's still getting the job done like any other hero. It's just in a different way he goes about it. When I first seen the statue, I mean, from base, paint, portrait, concept. And I do think they are going to put the cigarette in there. I just don't think they're going to advertise it because of, whatever, legal PC stuff. I mean, hopefully we get that in there just because it's trademark. I'm not saying like it's not going to be a make or break for me, like if he has a cigarette or he doesn't. But it's definitely John Constantine, it's just one of his trademark things. But yeah, man, Prime 1, like the way that they do their reviews is crazy. And 12 Days of Sideshow just passed. So for you being somebody who's been collecting longer than me, this was my first 12 days. So for me, I was hyped for it because I wanted to see like, hey, what's the hype? What is everybody talking about this 12 days? And, I would say overall, I don't think it was a fail. I think it left some room for improvement. It left some undesirable things to where they kind of wasted days. But were you shocked or surprised since this isn't your first radio?
No, because Sideshow has to cater to like the mainstream, and I think one of your guests, I think John, he nailed
John,
it. He nailed it. Most people are not gonna pay for high end statues. It's a small group of us that's really fanatics about this. So, I think they target a more broader audience that will look and say, oh, well, 600, 500, I can dish that out. But then when you start mentioning like 1,000 to some people, like what? The thing it changes, you know. But like I said, it depends on you because I did see something that I'm actually is not directly from Sideshow. I did see something that I might pick up. I'm probably right now 60 to 70% in. Is that He-Man and Battle Cat? Now,
Oh, really?
yeah, but
Okay.
you see, I grew out of He-Man a long time ago. My good friend, he loves He-Man till this day. You know, he loves He-Man. Um, he almost missed the Hordak from Tweethead. I'm like, yo, you're gonna want to pick this up. I know you, and he did. But what I like about that He-Man, once I see it, you know, I just like the fact that he has this this dynamic pose, and it's kind of updated, you know, compared to the 80s cartoon. So I don't this will be my first like Masters of the Universe statue if I do decide to get it once I see, you know, the pictures and the final finish.
Yeah.
And Tweeterhead has been doing a good job lately, you know. They
Oh
have.
yeah, for sure. Especially with the Masters of the Universe, they got a whole line that just looks amazing. Especially, and I don't know if you saw the life size bust Skeletor. That thing looks nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, man, dude, Tweeterhead's knocking some out the park there.
Yeah, they coming from left, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely cool, man.
Mm.
Definitely cool. So what's the number one statue that you're actually looking forward to the most in 2022? Whether it's months away or almost at December, is there anything that you're specifically just waiting for?
But what I'm specifically waiting for was definitely my Kratos. I can't wait. It's like,
Hmm.
you know, that should have been here, but because of the pandemic, oh, my Batman now. You know, everyone put that Hush Batman as number one, but
Yeah.
I'm sure, you know, most people already know the Batman that I'm getting,
Hmm.
but you see, here's another thing too. You know, like I said, I love the story, but
Hmm.
now that I am a Batman fan, I just like a certain concept Batman. You know,
Hmm.
so the one that I'm hopefully it should be coming this year. I don't even know. I gotta check. I gotta check that check the computer.
Yeah.
But when that one comes, oh man, I can't wait. you know, so
Yeah.
that's my most anticipated. You know,
Okay.
yeah.
So like, what's your favorite studio? What's that one studio you go to that you like? You know what? I could put my money here.
Well, I'm starting to discover a lot of new studios. You know,
Hmm.
but it's okay. So how can I? Okay, this is what I try to do because I noticed like a lot of us did like my top 10, the best statue, blah blah blah. I wanted to give every studio, because I'm sure every studio, every manufacturer, we seen a statue that just was like wow. In fact, I was browsing your video, and you got that the Iron Studios Daredevil. Oh my
Yeah.
God!
Yeah.
Now see that one right now. If you decided to sell it, you could make a profit.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
man,
Right there.
oh
Yep.
yeah. I slept on that. I slept on
Yeah.
that. I caught that one too late when I was getting ready to push the button. It was already too late. But damn, and now I was like, let me see how much this thing costs on the aftermarket.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Now
Yeah. I
would you
bought
do
mine in
it?
the aftermarket.
Would
I
you do
bought
it?
mine in the aftermarket.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
okay, yeah. So I
Yep.
saw the price. I was just like, it's gone.
Damn.
I was like, it's gone because I'm not paying. It's beautiful, but I gotta let this one go. But yeah, was it Anari Creations is doing some good stuff, and then you got Infinity Studios that's doing some good
Yep.
stuff because Infinity Studios coming out with that it's like Predator with Dutch. So now for me,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, for me, when I saw that, that's the ultimate nostalgia for me because you see our boy Arnold Schwarzenegger, engulfed in
On
the
the
mud,
base. Yeah.
and you see the Predator on the tree looking. So I'm
On
like,
the tree. Yep.
I'm pushing the button on this one for sure.
Yeah.
Whatever. Oh wait, what's it? Is it sick? Oh yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow they release
The
the
color.
yeah the
The paint.
pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
tomorrow, the 7th.
Cool, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Cool.
check that out. And XM already know they got it. They know they got
Mm-hmm.
it. You know, they sitting back like, yo, we know we got this. You know.
Yeah.
Are they my favorite? I can say they're up there. They're definitely up there because they give you what you paid for. You know, I have not received not one damaged XM. I'm like, this thing is coming all the way from Singapore with my name on. When dude was bringing it up to the crib,
Yeah.
he was like, "Please, can you help me?" He called me, "Can you, Mr. Hall?" I'm like, "Yeah, can you please help me with this?" I'm like, "All right, fine, I'm coming outside." He drops it. Boom! I'm like, "What are you doing?" But I said to myself, I said, well, if it's broken, I know who broke the statue.
No, who
Man,
broke it? Yep.
yeah. When I opened it up, I'm like, this is gonna be broken. Man, it was on point.
Yeah.
You know, everything was nice. You know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely get what you're saying there, man.
Mhm.
I haven't had too many like shipping fiascos or anything like that. Like nothing actually like break in too much or just anything out the norm, man.
You lucky.
Um
You lucky.
yeah, man.
I
I mean,
received like maybe like several broken
mhm,
statues. You know, and you're like,
yeah.
damn, I gotta send this back. You know.
Yeah, and that's the hard part. If something's broke or don't peg in right or anything, it's just like how's the customer service gonna be?
Mm-hmm.
All those different possible scenarios. Because honestly, you never know. They may say, "Hey, well, we don't actually have any replacement parts," or like you just never know what's gonna happen. And luckily, I haven't been in that scenario, man. I don't wish that on nobody, man. Because like, man, when you wait for these
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
even after you purchase it, you still gotta wait another 3 to 5 days, and that's a
yeah.
long time. And then when it finally comes, that dissatisfaction could even ruin you even wanting the next one to come.
Oh,
Even if they send in a new piece.
yeah. It's like my man. He got his first Sentinel came damaged. He sent it back.
Damn.
Came again damaged. He was about to give up. I'm like, look, just don't give up. He got it back. It was fine. The second one he got damaged. So I'm like, man, what's going on? Your FedEx guy probably don't like you, you know. So luckily for me, both my Sentinels came in great condition. Now I'm waiting for the third one, and I'm just hoping that when the third one comes, there's no issue because I wanted to put that as my most anticipated for 2021, but again, they kept pushing it back, pushing it back. So I think that one might ship next week. So hopefully I'll have that, because I've seen reviews on it. I'm like, well, I got to put my spin on it, you know. So I think you're muted. Yeah.
My bad there. I'm
Yeah.
looking at the proximity pieces that I have, and I mean, I may have up to 15 at this point, and it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the craziest setups that's out there, man. Like,
Yeah.
any character you can think of has probably been done except for a handful. That's crazy.
It's like I posted today. I have a feeling they're gonna do a fourth Sentinel.
You think so?
I think they're gonna do a fourth one because look, this one is successful because how did I come across that? I was just YouTube surfing and I came across the Disney Expo when I first saw the Sentinels, and I was like, what the hell? And I didn't even know who Iron Studios was at the time, to be honest.
I didn't either. Nope.
Yeah, I had no idea. I'm like, what is this? So right away, I get on the phone. I call my friend up. I'm like, yo, Mike, you see this shit? I'm like, go to YouTube. Look at this. He's like, yo, you got to get that. I'm like, I'm getting it. Because I just knew it was going to be like, it was going to be the mother of dioramas. That's my opinion. And then when I started seeing all the different proximity pieces, I'm like, they're about to take this to a whole nother level,
Yeah.
a whole nother level. So
Yeah.
there's more coming.
I got that blob in hand, and I'm like, dude, yeah, Iron Studios they man, that's crazy, dude.
My blob is sitting in the box.
Yeah.
It looks like, because I got it directly from Iron Studios.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it was opened up in customs. That's why I haven't did my review yet. I'm like, I gotta do my review. I'm
Oh
scared.
man.
I'm scared to open that box because if you look, the blob is sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
So
That's a hell of a statue, dude. You gonna like it.
Yes,
Have you
yes.
got one? Have you received a character from them that's big?
No, I think this is the biggest one directly because all the proximity pieces I ordered from Iron Studios directly. You know,
Mm,
because none of us saw a pandemic coming because this was like on
yeah,
some
that's
boat
true.
for like months, and I'm just watching all the reviews. I'm like, damn, I want to put my spin on this, but so I kept harassing them. You got to be patient when stuff like that happens. So finally,
Yeah,
I got the email, your statue has been shipped. So I was like, all right, cool. So it's been sitting there for like 3 weeks. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm scared to open that box. So I'm gonna have to.
yeah. I mean, like for me, shipping can definitely be a hassle just having to sit there and wait. But when you see that blob, it's nice, man. It it. it it by far is one of the nicest ones in the 110th scene on the X-Men's. And it's not a main character or anything like that. It's not gonna blow you away. It doesn't have that presence as like their Storm that I'm looking at, or a Nightcrawler,
Mhm.
but it's nice in its own right. Like they did a very good job. And if that statue was 1/4, good God, man,
Yeah, he's a big boy. I heard.
damn.
Yeah.
Because like for it to be a 1/10, it's
Mhm.
the same size as any other 1/6. It's legitimately the same, like a 1/6.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the Juggernaut. I'm like, this thing got kind of like, damn, you know,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, crazy, man, definitely crazy. So I
So
know
you,
earlier you had
mhm.
a sorry, go ahead.
So I'm saying you just decided to stick with the proximity pieces.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I actually have ordered the one number two. It had Juggernaut, Gambit, and Magneto on it. It actually
Hmm.
got canceled out by Iron Studios because they didn't send me the email notification, so I didn't know to pay it. So it got canceled out by them.
Oh, that
No big
sucks.
deal, whatever. Um, then what happened is I had actually ordered the Sentinel, the one by himself, without the ice,
Hmm.
and I just decided to cancel it. I was just like, you know what? I think I might actually go in a different direction with X-Men. So I
Mm,
think what I'm actually doing is I'm getting the Magneto XM Legendary Beast.
nice, nice.
Yeah. So I'm keeping all the proximity pieces. I just don't want the Sentinels
Yeah, and
because
see that.
mine are on the wall, so they're hung up to where like it's not gonna affect statue room.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted the Sentinels because I figured like there's so many you know um X-Men statues out there, so many. You know,
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this will work, and I'll be okay with this, you know,
hmm
I'll be okay with it. So
Yeah, man, definitely, definitely, definitely. So I know earlier you had alluded to, your uncle, but what really got you into to comics or the characters? Was it just being able to have like a crate of comics or cartoons or movies?
no, I mean at that age, if I think back, I must have been like I don't remember, probably like in the first grade, and I wasn't really reading the comics.
hmm
I was looking at the pictures because when I first because he used to have a stash and. When I came across his stash, I remember the first picture I saw was Beta Ray, and I just thought like, what is this? And I
hmm
just used to browse through looking at the pictures, and
Yeah.
then it wasn't until like when I was in elementary school and where I lived at the time, we had this spot called the mini mall, and the mini mall just sold like comics, and then it started coming back to me like, oh, my uncle reads his stuff, and then he used to take me to the comic book store, stuff like that, and that's how I started like reading comic books. um I think there was one convention, it wasn't a con, I will never forget, and that's how I met Peter Cullen. He's the voice of Optimus Prime, you know
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
so I didn't know at that time that this whole thing, this whole comic book, the movies, all this stuff was going to be a big deal
hmm
because you know my generation, we were kind of like watching stuff from like the 70s, like I remember I was watching the Spiderman from the 70s, and I liked it, but when I look at it now I'm like, damn, that shit look cheesy. you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
but
It's a lot. It's different, man.
yeah, it's so much different. So, and I think that's what Stan mentioned too at the time. He said, we couldn't do certain things because we didn't have the technology. Because they did like a Thor, they did a thing. I mean, you look back, you're like, damn, this is bad. But a
Dude, they
kid,
did a Swamp Thing back then. That crap is wow.
I know,
Wow.
but see, but a kid mind is like, your imagination. It's kind of like, in my
Yeah.
opinion, the best Superman of them all, this is just my opinion, is the Christopher Reeve Superman. And it's not, look, if you look how cheesy the flight scenes were, the plot is what sold that movie. It was the plot.
But you know what? If you
Mhm,
look at the 1992
mhm,
Superman, the TV show with Dean Cole and Terry Hatcher,
mhm, mhm,
when he flies, all he does is shh,
mhm,
and it just skits across the screen.
mhm,
And I'm watching it now. Well, I was last year in 2021, so it's about a
mhm.
30-year gap.
Yeah,
But the story is so good
it's
with
good.
Lex and
Yeah,
the other rogues, where it's
mhm,
like I
yeah,
don't care about that.
yeah.
Like it's
You
a good
don't,
storyline.
and that's what I mean. Like you can give an audience good CGI all day, but you can be
Oh
like
yeah, for
that.
sure.
That shit was corny. You be like that shit was corny, and you don't care. So I'm like, make it pretty, but if the plot ain't there, I mean, with the especially with Marlon Brando, like the lines, it was deep. He's like, I'm sending you, and when I took film studies, this philosophy that comes up, and now you start analyzing the film, and then you start putting the picture together. What is the whole meaning of the Superman concept? And if you saw Man of Steel with Henry Cavill, what's the Easter egg in that movie that most people miss?
I don't know. What is it?
I remember when Lois, when uh, his father launched her out of
Right.
the ship, but the
Okay.
ship is in turmoil, it's burning up, and he says, "Look, you can still save her. Go." And then when he comes out the ship, what does he do? You got to go back and watch it. He makes the sign of the cross like he's Jesus being crucified.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird, right?
Right. Right.
Go back and
Damn.
watch it. Go back and pause it.
Okay.
Go back and pause
Okay.
it. It was just something that came out of those symbolic meanings of movies.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the Christopher Reeve, the first one now, it was deep.
Mm-hmm.
It was deep, and it was the orchestra that got you. He's flying with Lois Lane. It's a romantic scene. It's like this hero. She's fascinated. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was just. I mean, look, it was a great movie. And then the one they did with the Superman Return, it flopped because now you're in
Yeah.
a different time. Like what? That's that you not Christopher Reeve. You're
Yep.
not that Clark Kent. And
Yep.
now you gave us the good CGI, but look, this shit is corny, right?
Yep. Yeah. Definitely,
you know,
man.
yeah,
That's cool, dude. That's
mm,
cool, man. And shout
mm,
out Marlon Brando, man.
yeah, man.
Marlon Brando is actually from the same city, man. Omaha, Nebraska, dude. Shout out Marlon
Wow,
Brando.
look at that, look at that.
Yeah, definitely, man.
The
The
Godfather,
guy,
and I did a review on that too. You know,
yeah, definitely, man. It
yeah,
is crazy. Those are some long movies. The Godfather, like, just and like I remember that first one, like the opening scene there at like the wedding. All the families are getting together and stuff like that, and
mhm.
I'm just like, damn, dude, just so many actors was in that movie.
Great
That's
stuff.
those are classics. If nobody's seen that, pick it up. I purchased the trilogy on Blu-ray last Black Friday
But
for
that's
like
that's how
five
you
bucks.
that's how you know you're getting old because I remember my phone went off the other day. It's the Godfather theme. People was like, "What's that?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What's that?" It's the Godfather.
Yeah,
You know?
that's Godfather is a classic, dude. It's
Yeah.
it's and they're all good too. They're all good. I
Well,
like the
one and
second
two.
one the best myself.
Yeah. If you really look, if you're new to it and
Hmm.
you really want to understand the story, you got to go back and read The Family Corleone, Ed Falco, and you'll see how the characters develop. It's like the prequel before The Godfather. Phenomenal, phenomenal. You find out why Luca Brasi is so freaking crazy. Dude
Mm.
is a madman, but the movie don't give you all of that, you know. So it's like you start looking up that stuff, you really appreciate it, you know. Because if they
Damn.
had put all that in that movie, it would have been like 6 hours.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So, but it was cool. Mm.
Yeah, definitely, man. So, speaking of like of different things, right? Obviously you have like Clark Kent, by day, he's a reporter. And within, obviously when somebody needs help, he's Superman, or you have Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Bruce Wayne, Batman. If you could only be one, would you be the human side of them, the everyday guy, or would you say, hey, you know what? I don't want to just be Bruce Wayne. I just want to be Batman all the time. Because in all reality, if you look at Superman, even though he's reporting and he's in the 1992 show, they depicted it as he took that job because it would be easier for him to know what's going on when people need help. Um, so do you think that would be the type of hero you would be if you were a hero? Like let me work at the police station, for example.
Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah, I think so. You know, because with I guess in general with human beings, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly learning.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you think you know something and you realize how much you don't know, and by realizing that, that makes you wiser and smarter. You know, because if you think about it, if Superman wasn't Clark Kent during the day, and he wasn't learning, about the environment that he's in,
Mm-hmm.
then he could just easily make assumptions,
Yeah.
and that could be, detrimental, to him as a hero. And this is why I think, and you're opening up a good concept, because I think that's why in the 70s at one point they changed the style of Superman, because people were becoming bored with him. He was too uh, uh, invincible. So they had to like make him more human for people to get more interested into him. Because if you think about it, this guy, how can you defeat him? How can you even engage him? He's that powerful, and something that powerful creates fear. No one's gonna love. If there was a Superman now, we're probably gonna hate him. Like, we can't do nothing to this guy if we wanted to, you know. But because he puts on that disguise and learns humanity, and he's also fulfilling what he was sent to do,
Right.
this is what makes him that hero. Because he's like, I know I'm strong. I know I can destroy this world if I wanted to, you know. There's a conflicting story. Superman Red Son, Mark Miller.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta read that, because even though he is kind of like a villain,
Mm-hmm.
it's a deep story. He's still trying to be Superman, but he makes those mistakes because it's like he's completely trying to save the world, which makes him vulnerable because he hasn't learned. He thinks he can solve the human condition, but it's a good man. I ain't trying to get philosophical anybody tonight,
No,
but
no, no, no. You're good,
yeah,
man. You're good. You're
it's a it,
good.
it's a deep concept, and I'm like, damn, great story. But I think it would make sense to be, you know, Clark Kent.
So what's your all time favorite superhero movie? MC, whether it's Marvel or DC.
My favorite all time, before the MCU started to blow up was the Incredible Hulk with
Banner.
yes, not
Yeah.
the other one. I'm trying to think of the name of the actor. Where he fought Abomination.
Oh, Ed Norton.
Ed Norton. That was my
Yeah.
favorite one. You know.
Yeah. That was a really good one, and I think that was the best one in the MCU in terms of action. Like that movie was nonstop,
Yeah, and it wasn't
nonstop.
it
Yeah.
wasn't cheesy. It was right
No,
on
no.
point. You
Yeah.
know. And I don't know
Yeah.
why they can't give the Hulk a standalone movie. I don't know what's going on with that. I think they could do it. But
Yeah.
mm,
I mean, they've done it twice before so far, and then look at the old TV show. Like I think Hawk is a good enough character to where he can be shown some
mhm.
viewership.
Yeah, I think so too. Um,
Yeah, and I definitely want them to think about adding more characters because if you look at the end of Daredevil, Bullseye, the
mhm,
that dude had turned into Bullseye, and it's like right when y'all was about to show him, y'all stopped making Daredevil TV show, and I
mhm,
was like, dang, we finally gonna get a Bullseye on screen. It's not a movie obviously, but with
mhm,
them kind of venturing some of these TV shows in the MCU that they're gonna put them in the newer shows and eventually on big screen. I think that's cool that they're keeping some of the same actors. I know a lot of people aren't fans of the Iron Fist actor, etc. But I
mhm.
mean, it's fine. But I feel like the dude who played Punisher, that's the Punisher.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the Punisher.
yeah. It's the writing, and and that's the thing about that's the hard part, because when it comes to like the comic book fan, we're the ones who are like the bougie ones. Like we got a lot to say. Oh, that wasn't like, but it's hard sometimes for a movie
Mm-hmm.
to get that whole concept,
Yeah,
because
definitely,
when
man.
it comes to the movie part and bringing it to the big screen, it's like, look, we spent like millions of dollars to make this production. Now we need our returns. We got to make a profit, you know. So that's why sometimes when you watch a certain like action hero or superhero movie, it felt like it was rush. More
Mm-hmm.
than likely, it was rush because they couldn't fit all of it in, you know.
Yeah,
But you see, I think now where the MCU is going with their productions is like, look, either you know or you don't. But we're moving
yeah,
along, because it's too much. It's too much to capture in like a 2-3 hour movie.
yeah. That's true, man. That's definitely true.
Mhm.
And looking back at a couple comments throughout the show, um, Art says, "I'm waiting for a movie version of Carnage so I can convert it to a white man's King Jump piece." And kind of speaking on that, like, how do you feel about movie pieces? Like I know you mentioned comic. Like, I'm strictly a comic, and like,
Mhm.
obviously horror is movies. I mean, there's no other way around horror. Like, you have to, I mean, Freddy is Freddy. I mean, you can't get around that. However, when it does come to the Predator pieces, the only Predators that I'm actually having are from Dark Horse Comics. So
Mhm.
the Fugitive Predator down there that I'm actually selling, that is a movie Predator, so it'll be gone.
Mhm.
So like people kind of like, well, hey, wouldn't you like Predators? Yeah, but like that's a Dark Horse comic right there, so it's
Mhm.
technically not a movie.
Mhm.
Are you strictly comic?
No, 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 not all the way. Um, what I learned, why I started sticking to like comic statues, like I'm talking about like
Mm-hmm.
superheroes now, because
Yeah,
I had bought the Ben Affleck Batman from Sideshow. Really thought I was going to love that statue. Really thought I was going to love it.
yeah,
And when I had it for a few months, I kept looking at it like this Batman is corny, you know.
yeah.
And surprisingly, there was there's people out there that loved Ben Affleck as Batman. Not saying that he played a bad Batman. That just was not my Batman. So that's why I was like, nah, I gotta get rid of this. I don't even know why I bought it, But someone did
Yeah,
pick it up for me. But it just wasn't my Batman. I'd rather go with a comic book Batman, you know.
yeah,
Now I do like I think movie wise, Michael Keaton is my Batman. Movie wise, you know.
yeah. I can
I
see
think he
that.
he really brought out that Dark Knight. He was the first Dark Knight. Okay,
Yeah,
Tim Burton is. I mean, that guy is phenomenal, phenomenal. Um, so, but I just haven't seen the Michael Keaton Batman
mm-hmm.
how I want to see him yet, sculpture wise. I just haven't seen it yet.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
I know that new studio Dark Side Collectibles, I believe. I know they're doing some 1989 Batman stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
Um, I think they are. I know they're doing Terminator. They're doing a bunch of Star Trek stuff as well. So
Hmm.
maybe give those a look. I believe they're up on Sideshow as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I want to check
Hmm.
that out.
Cool.
Another comment from earlier in the show, Matt says, "Here's another perspective. A seller might not really want to sell, but everything has a price. If someone is willing to pay a high price, then it sells because it meets the seller's worth." Yeah, and that kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier in terms of like if Superman Hush, for example, is 5,000 and somebody does want to buy it, then I mean they must really want it. If that's the only one that they saw in the last 4 years, so we're like, you know what, I got 5 grand, screw it. So I
Hmm.
mean, I definitely see that there. Um, I guess for me, like I've always been in a position where I'm either selling to move it because you may need a little cash, or just selling it because I'm upgrading the actual piece. So as long as I'm getting what the new piece is worth, I'm fine with that personally.
Hmm.
Because I don't want nobody, dang dude, this was $200 and now you charge me 1,300. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to stiff you, but I'm trying to make it mutually good to where I feel like I got something out of it too. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
mutually.
Yeah. Look, it's nothing wrong with making a profit. If that's your personality, that's fine.
Hmm.
My thing is like, look, I mean, I speak for myself on this. You and I both agree that XM Studio Johnny Blaze is one of the baddest Ghost Rider statues out there, right? But now think for a second. You look, if I could buy it, you know, I would pull the plug. But think about it. That statue comes, right? Let's say you paid $3,200 for it. You're looking at it. You love it. But
Yep.
then as the months go by, you're like, I can't believe I paid $3,200 for this.
Yeah.
You know,
That'll always be in the back of your mind.
I can't believe I paid $3,200 for it. And I think the one that I was looking at was already displayed. It wasn't even brand new.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a badass statue. So
Yeah.
sometimes you just gotta let go. But if you have that person that look money in the thing for them, and hey, fine, more power to you. You know. But if I
Yeah.
want to, if I
Yeah.
want to get rid of something so I can move on to the next, you know, the most I'll mark it up is 10%, or I'll work with you. If you really, there was a kid that was hitting me up because I think I already sold it. The Heath Ledger Joker from Sideshow.
Mm-hmm.
This kid was telling me how much he loved Heath Ledger. You know, he showed me even his setup, why he had to have the statue, and if he was willing to trade with me. So I said,
Yeah.
okay, well, he asked me, well, what do I like? I said, well, do you have, you know, an XM Studio statue, right?
Yeah.
Now that's not a fair trade. It's not. But I'm
Right,
looking
right,
at, I'm
right.
talking about 1/6 scale. I'm not talking about, you know, a quarter scale, third scale. I'm talking about a 1/6 scale. What do you have a 1/6 XM? Because I think that's fair, right?
Yeah.
The kid had nothing. So then now he starts negotiating. He wants to trade with me paintings. I'm like, look, I can go buy that, you know. And I felt him. I said, okay, I'll work
Yeah.
with you. So I said, look,
Yeah.
if you really want the statue, right? If you really want it, I'll knock off $100, right? But you just got to pay the shipping. So not only am I underselling what I paid for because I'm trying to satisfy someone, and he could be bullshitting me, whatever. But I'm like, look, I got to get rid of the statue. But then as I got lower, he wants, well, take it for another $100. I'm like, dude, really? Now I know it's a game, you know, but no, you know, usually look 10% or if the person say, I'd rather pay for what you paid for it, then let it
Yeah.
go. You know,
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I definitely agree, man. It's crazy because it don't matter how low you have something.
Mm-hmm.
That question is always coming, man. Always coming. Like it just does not matter, and
Yep.
do not matter, man.
Yeah.
Here's another question from earlier, or a statement. Cash, that Magneto Legendary Beast would be the best version of that character, going all in with the Legendary Beast X-Men. Yeah, so far that they've actually shown is just the Magneto and Cyclops. That Magneto for me, man, that thing is bad. I can't wait to get that in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of them statues that I'm just like, dude, it's gonna be nice, man. So I cannot wait for it. I gotta have a Magneto. You know, I do have a Magneto with Iron Studios,
Mm-hmm.
but I want that Magneto that has that presence that's like, yo, dude, like I'm that dude, man. And like, and I love the fact with the helmet of like, Professor X can't even get in my head, and I just put the helmet on. I love the backstories of that, man. That kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier about the backstory of the characters and
Mm-hmm.
just all that, man. Like it's really cool, man. Is there any legendary beast statues you're thinking about picking up?
Uh, this well for me. No, you say legendary beast. You're talking about like scale wise.
XM Studios legendary beasts such as the 1/3 Thor or the 1/3 Captain America.
No, not really. You know,
Hmm.
because you see, my whole thing was when I was buying, you know, the Iron Studio Sentinels. You
Hmm.
know, I wanted to get as much characters as possible because you know it's like I would love to see a legendary bishop. I would love to
Hmm.
see that, but you know, in my mind, when I set up this, you know, my Sentinel display, I'm seeing, you know, what I read. I'm seeing what I watch. You know, I'm imagining that. So that's you know, I haven't seen anything of that scale yet. No.
Yeah, man. It's definitely nice, dude. It's definitely nice. Looks like we have a final comment here for you, man. Cash, if you want even more thumbs up, ask him his views on Alan Moore's Swamp Thing.
Alan Moore Swamp Thing. I don't. You know what? I gotta be honest. I'm not really a Swamp Thing fan. I mean, I like Swamp Thing, but I'm not
Hmm.
really into Swamp Thing like that. You know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I know Joe's legendary beast is Joe. What the heck? I know Joe's into Swamp Thing, and he got his XM Swamp Thing, so I'm pretty happy for him. Yeah, I mean, far as the Justice League Dark for me, it's Constantine and Zatanna, man. But in speaking of that, like, how of a collector are you? Do you have to finish a line such as
No,
I
no,
need this and that,
no.
or is it all about the
And
character?
it's about the character, it's about diversity, because it's like
Mm-hmm.
going back to what I was saying, it's like, look, how many Batmans can you have? How many Supermans can you have? How many
Yeah,
um
yeah.
how many of the same character can you have? You know, because each individual, like just this little display right here, each
Mm-hmm.
individual is my nostalgia, you know.
Yeah.
Each one is my nostalgia, and it's different kinds. I mean, the Predator shouldn't be up here, you know. I mean, I got stuff over there, but it's just my nostalgia. Like this is the stuff that I grew up watching. This is from my favorite movies. I specifically bought the Predator Prime One because it reminded me so much of the Arnold
Yeah, that's a
Schwarzenegger.
bad one, man.
Yeah, But you see, here's the thing now. If you're gonna be honest with your audience, it has some issues with it. And what I mean by issues, not that is like putting the leaves together. Oh my god, man. you know, you got to be a pro at that. So I think they should have gave us something more in depth putting it
Mm-hmm.
together. And one of the helmets, when you put it on the neck, it's kind of loose, so you have to like make sure it's well set because it will drop.
And you
It will
know
drop.
what's crazy?
Mhm.
This one is kind of like that too. That one right there, who's
Yeah.
holding the spine. Like
Hmm.
it's not as bad as I've heard. I think I heard Mr. X mention that as well about that same statue
Yeah,
that
and
you
he's
have.
right. He's right.
And
It's
mine's
funny.
actually coming. Mine's coming for that one. It should be here in maybe 3 weeks or so. Hopefully.
Mhm.
Uh,
And that's how you know. That's how you know someone is not BSing you because I think when I did my review, and then um I kept hearing you guys say Mr. X, so I just had a binge. When I saw his, I'm like, damn, I'm like,
hey,
this guy's doing,
damn.
yeah, this guy's doing it.
Shout out
So
Mr. X, man.
yeah, shout out. When I saw his review on the Prime one, at first I thought he was like, I'm like, damn man, don't diss my stat. But when he got to that point, he was talking about the head and putting it together. I was like, yeah, he's right. But overall, it's a great piece. And I
Yeah.
don't see myself buying another Predator. The only one that I might buy is the from Infinity Studios with the Dutch and the Predator because that is my ultimate like that movie. I loved it, so
Hmm.
I can't wait to see what those pictures look like tomorrow if it's up. You know, but
Yeah, I'm actually going back for the Hunter victim. The dead guy, skinned alive, hanging upside down.
I'm looking at that too. I'm
Yeah.
looking at that too. But
And
damn,
I feel like if I miss
hmm
out on that, that's gonna be that one that I'm gonna be like, I should have got it because it completes the ultimate display with all the
yes,
vegetation around. And like you said,
yes,
like for Predator, you don't need the biggest display for somebody, even
mhm,
like obviously yourself, but if anybody comes, they're like, damn, that's a
yeah,
nice Predator display.
yeah,
You don't need that many pieces to complete Predator.
yeah. That seals the deal for real.
Yeah,
Don't make me do it, Cash, man. Don't start.
yeah.
Don't make me go push the button. Because I was thinking about it. So I was like, man, and I know, man, I don't know. I gotta think about it. But it's a dope one.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah, man. At Toy Quest 101, appreciate you being here. I do believe Jerry did get that as well. Um, so I wanna say something real quick
Mhm,
before I move on to the final question for you.
mhm,
Just to share this real quick here. For anybody out there who's wondering about HStats channel, here it goes right here, just so you guys know the exact channel that you're looking for. You can obviously see him in the thumbnails there. But this is his channel here, so definitely go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Check out some content on there that it's a little bit of everything, obviously, and kind of goes back to what you had mentioned before, the diversity. I mean, you're getting Godfather here, you know what I'm saying? But then if you go over here, you're getting Dark Side. So definitely
mhm.
some diversity there, when you come to this to this channel, which is definitely great. And then also what I want to show you guys is from episode 12 of the Cashing Out Show. You guys are going to want to go back there, thumbs up the video, and leave a comment on there. As of the 10th, we're going to shut the giveaway away. And I believe on the 15th, that Saturday, when we go live for the bi-weekly Saturday Night Live chat, we're going to pull up the random comment generator, and we'll pick a winner for the Superman Memorial statue, which is in conjunction with Spec Fiction. You're also going to win a 13x19 Superman art print from Victor Garduno. So one lucky winner. So all you have to do that is just subscribe to the channel, leave a comment on episode 12 of Cashing Out Show, and then like the Spec Fiction Facebook page. So I just wanted to put that out there for you guys real quick. So now, man, my final question for you is, and this is the question that I actually look forward to the most from anybody on the show. It's the Mount Rushmore question, and you're pretty familiar with sports, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch up who I use this time. Let me see. Mount Rushmore 4. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take a different Mount Rushmore right here. I'm gonna go Shaq, Tim Duncan, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas. Honorable mention as my 5th. So that's going to be my starting 5. So let's say we go into a basketball game, right? We go into a basketball game. I got my starting 5. You picking your starting 5. And before we get there, somebody has on a Stan Lee shirt. Shout out Stan Lee. And just all the characters, whether it's Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, whoever, DC, Marvel. Not even talking about statues, but just the characters themselves. What's your top 4 characters in all the universes for you? And if you like, you can obviously name honorable mention 5th character.
Ooh, damn, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So you okay? So you giving me Steel. You're giving me definitely the Hulk. You're giving me Spider-Man. You're giving me I'm putting my boy Namor. That's one more, and then
wow. Okay.
And then I'm definitely going with Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, Namor, Hulk, Superman,
Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Do you have an honorable mention?
What was the last one I mentioned?
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. Wow. That is definitely a different list. So what's crazy is the first 3 or 4 episodes, a lot of people said Superman Hush. And then the characters changed. Like Todd has said Gambit. So it's crazy how like the characters, whether they're statues or just characters in general, are changing now. But that's good because that shows the diversity in the community as well as, the characters that different individuals, like. So that's definitely cool, man. Pudgy says HStats has some electric choices, man. I definitely agree, man. I did not expect you to say that, especially Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Man, dude, it's definitely been a pleasure. I've had a lot of fun having you on. Like I said, tried to get you on a while back. I know schedules collided, but I'm definitely glad. Sometimes if you wait, it's actually perfect timing, so it's all good, man. What's next for the channel for you, man?
I'm trying to, when you're creating, you want to deliver, good content. You want to make sure that you are reaching the people that you're targeting, people that share the same interests. And I think I'm finding it because, for real, shouts out to that brother Rome, man, because, this guy's, he has to be the connector of the community.
Yeah.
Because honestly speaking, that's how I started to get to know everyone, and there's still more, it's just beautiful, and I just, like I said from the beginning when I first started, I'm glad I jumped off that cliff and my parachute opened up because, we're out here, this is our passion, and, you want to be truthful, you want to deliver, you know, and it's great, man. You know, if I'm gonna do this, I got to do it, you know, the way I would want someone speaking to me, trying to convince me, you know, why this is so interesting. Because like I said, going back to like, you know, childhood, going to the mini mall, being excited. You know, I remember when Death of Superman came out and getting that comic, and
Man, yeah.
man, you know, I mean, we had all of that, and it still feels good. You know, sometimes I'm in the city, hit up Forbidden Planet, Midtown Comics, and you just feel great. You know, being in that atmosphere, and you want it to continue. You want, you know, I mean, I don't want to push my hobby on my son, but you know, he watches stuff like that. And
Definitely.
I want him to just know, you know, the whole meaning of things, you know. But overall, this is fun. This has been great, and
Hmm.
hopefully, I can do this as long as possible, and you know, create like some real good stuff that is going to captivate people. You know, for real.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
most definitely, man. It looks like we have a comment here for you,
Mm-hmm.
Mojo. Shout out Mojo, man.
That's dude.
H Stats Richie started watching you, like what you're doing, man. Definitely,
Thank you,
definitely.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the cool chatting tonight, everyone. Yeah, definitely, man. I want to say everybody out there in the comments, like I said, subscribe to both this channel as well as HStats Collectibles channel. Appreciate everybody out there. X-Men exclusives. I see you. Toy Quest 101. He has a channel as well. Shout out Mario from Collecting Weekly. We got Arch and Jerry from Collective Minds. Um, Keese's World was in here, Astro as well. Just want to say shout out to everybody in the community. Obviously this is all the cashing out show is about, man. It's just a one on one with just the community, the collectors out there. Whether you have a channel or not, whether you're an artist, a sculptor, or whatever, it's just about learning a little bit more about the individuals, why they got into the hobbies, whether that's selling statues or making them or whatever it is. You know, just kind of more of a one on one, you know, and you know, some are more shorter, some are longer, but it's just giving you guys an in-depth look of that individual. You know, everybody has said something different, whether it's Star Wars, Jurassic Park, or their dad, or you know, Dean's case, he collects with his sister. Your case, it was more so your uncle. So everybody's different out there, and that's the beauty of collecting. And I guess a very last question for you. Is there anything you would tell your younger self about what you know now in terms of, hey, I actually started YouTube, you know, and I actually enjoy it, or hey, I'm actually collecting these certain pieces? Is there anything you tell your younger self?
You're doing the right thing. You know, you're doing the right thing. You know, I you know indirectly when people call themselves nerds, you know, like
Yeah,
what does that mean? Because you know, when you get older, you realize like the things that you were doing that kept you on the right track, you know,
yep,
are the things that are inspiring you to do bigger and better things. You know,
right.
so I wouldn't say, you know, you're a nerd because you have chosen to open up a book and talk about something that makes millions and billions of dollars. So what's so wrong with what you love, you know?
Yeah,
And
exactly,
and you
man.
know, and another thing too, you know, in our community, let's learn how to be constructive with our criticism. There's nothing wrong with not liking something.
Yeah,
You know, if you
yeah.
don't like it, you don't like it.
You
Look,
don't like it.
yeah, I say that all my time, like, you know, all the time on my channel. If you think what I just gave you sucks, say it. Like, I hate the statue. I'm like, okay, cool. You don't like it,
Man.
but some people they
You,
just, oh God, calm down, bro.
you want to end the show with something kind of funny, dude? I'm gonna show you something just kind of funny, right? So I look over to my side, right?
uh,
Look at my cat, dude. What the hell?
is that a she or he?
That's a he. His name is Thor. Like, what are you doing,
he's
dude?
trying to he's trying to be a statue.
Oh man. And he is like not listening to get down. What you doing, man?
That's funny.
Oh man, dude. Oh man, that's crazy, man. Again, hey man, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you being on, man.
Yes, thank you.
Um, it's been a blast, man. Hey, and as I always say, man, if you can go ahead and lead us out, man. You always say something at the end of every video. If you could bless us one time, man.
With that said, keep your stats up. One.
Cash out, baby.
Put some cash in your life. Put some cash in your life. If your cash ain't right, if your cash ain't right.